And we are live. Hello, everyone out there in LinkedIn Universe or YouTube if you're watching the playback. So great to see you today on this, in where I am in Ballarat, a very miserable rainy day as I look out the window. We do have Sandra Lim joining us. She's been having some dramas with electricity. So nice way to start a Monday morning. But we'll kick off, and Sandra will be with us in a moment. So today, wanted to introduce the MCs for Bounce, which is just over a week away. So it's on the 7th and the 9th of March. MCs, it's one of those funny things where, they're busy introducing everyone and they don't really get to let you know who they are throughout the day. So I thought this was a really great opportunity for you to meet Brendan, Sandra, and Quila and hear a little bit about them. We do have Sandra joining us right now. Hello, Sandra. How you doing?
Hey, she's here. She's here.
I am here.
You have power.
I have power. Well, I kind of. It's all battery. It's all battery at the moment.
Battery. Oh, geez. We're just saying to the audience about your electricity problems, and what a way to start the Monday, right?
Great start of the week. I'm looking forward to Friday.
Well, already, I know, same. Although I was just saying I'm a little bit panicky because it's Bounce next week. So 6 months of all the work that we've all been doing, and soon it will be live. But anyway, what a perfect way to start. Why don't we intro? Everyone knows who I am, so I'm not going to intro me because I'm always talking on these things. But why don't we go around the room? I'd really love for our MCs to basically have a little bit of a chat about who they are, what they do. So we might just kick off with let's talk about your roles. Let's start professionally. So Brendan, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about what do you do in the wonderful world of recruitment?
Yeah, so I'm the managing director for Quila Talent. So we specialize in the aged care and healthcare industry. So we cover everything from aged care, hospitals, mental health nursing, allied health, and so on. So it's a really fun, challenging kind of industry, and also really rewarding, as the top thing.
Excellent. Well, look, we are so delighted to have you again. And also, we hopefully will have Tania joining us in a moment as well. But Brendan, thanks so much for coming back and participating in Bounce again. We received so much wonderful feedback about your presentation in Bounce One. So it is a real honor to have you joining us. So thank you once again. I'll go over. Excellent. I'll go over to Sandra. Tell us a little bit about you, Sandra.
Are you sure you want to know? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Where do I start? So I am currently the head of talent at Papercut Software. I'm actually taking on a parental leave cover from Laura White, who a lot of you might know already. But yeah, I've been in the HR talent space for close to, I don't know, I don't want to say how long because then I'll give away my age and then everyone will know how much older I am than I look. Quila shaking her head. But no, I am old. So I've been here for maybe about 15, 16 years now. And the last decade really specializing and focusing in all things recruitment and talent acquisition. But in Papercut Software, with being the head of talent, that looks at everything from a talent perspective. So not just TA, but from a growth and development, internal mobility, capability management, and all the fun things that are around that as well.
Oh, amazing. And it's so great to hear more and more organizations, Sandra, following that path of real total talent management. So that's really awesome to hear that, recruitment doesn't start and stop when you hire someone. It's a continuing cycle. So 100%. I love what you're doing. And again, thank you so much for rejoining Bounce. Your presentation last year was just, it was impeccable. And again, we received so much wonderful feedback. So an honor to have you back.
Thank you. No, it's really great to be back. And I was slightly shocked and surprised that you asked me to come back because I was like, oh no, they want to hear me talk some more. I will stop.
Of course we wanted you back. Absolutely. And our returning MC, Quila. And welcome, Tania. So glad you were able to get on the
Sorry, I'm so happy.
Issues this morning.
We've all had a really funny morning, actually. We were just talking about that. It's a funny Monday, but we'll get through it. Yeah, we're just saying it, we're looking forward to Friday already, right? But Quila, our returning MC, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah.
Your role has changed since you last
My
joined
role
us.
has changed, but I'm so happy that we're doing these intros because I was so nervous last time that I just didn't even introduce myself. I did acknowledgement to country, skipped to the agenda and just kept going. And then an hour later, I was like, oh shit, I never even told people my name, what I do and what I'm doing here. So, and also Sandra and Brendan, your presentations at the first bounce were standout for me. They're the most memorable pieces. So it's really awesome that you're going to be kind of co-hosting. You're doing day 1 and we're doing day 2. So my name is Quila Cervelli. I am the Employer Brand and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager. Quite a tongue twister at Sportsbet. I've been here for about a year and really looking forward to emceeing Bounce day number 2 with Tania.
Woo-hoo. Welcome back. And you again,
Thanks.
feedback. Best MC in Australia as far as I'm concerned.
Ever. Anyway, yeah, right.
So true.
Awesome other MCs out there as well. So big shout out to for ATC. Sarah Purchase did an amazing job last year. So it's just we're so lucky to have talent like you guys here in Australia. So
there's a good energy in this country and in our industry. I think there's a great vibe about us. So
absolutely, and so much more happening. I love our community in Australia because we're just so eager to share and learn from each other, and I think that's really special. So this is another great example of celebrating that. So welcome back, and we have our first time bouncer. Long time Rubberband member, but first time bouncer who will be joining us. So Tania, welcome.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Super nervous because I said to Eden, I've never I like to be in the background, not be front and center. But it's great. And I think Eden, to be honest, I think you've been so instrumental in bringing the talent community together. And particularly, obviously, it started in COVID when we all thought our careers were dead and buried. And then it's grown so much and it's been such a great community to be part of and connecting in with more people and learning from each other and everyone genuinely wanting to actually help each other. And I think that's what I love about this community. So, thank you as well for what you've done for the Australian talent market.
Oh, thank you. I just love it's the community, right? It's not me. It's every single person that's in the community. But I just love that, it's not one of those things that you need to pay to join. It's not one of those things that is exclusive to people that are in really senior roles or people that are only in internal or only in agency. It's just one of those things where we can come together and help each other because I don't know, we all got into this industry, I know we all say we fell into it, but we all got into it to help people. And if we're helping each other, we're helping more than our candidates and our employees. We're helping each other. And that's what we're all about. We're, talent professionals are pretty decent folk, I think.
I think it's a really authentic community too, because we have each other's backs when we're at our worst. If you're losing your job or if you're not quite sure how to move forward with a strategy, and then you also get to celebrate people's wins, so you get people at their best and we just come all. I really like that about this community.
I agree. And that it's so inclusive as well. It doesn't matter where you've come from, what experiences you have, whether you're just starting out in your recruitment journey or you're a super expert senior. I don't know who they are yet because I still haven't grown up to be that person. But whoever they are, they're there. And that's, it's all inclusive. Everyone's just sharing all their talent together. And that's really amazing.
Yeah, and look, I love the diversity of experience. I think you're right, Sandra. There are people that specialize in employment law. There are people that are actually more in business partner roles. There are people that are brand new into recruitment, and they sometimes just don't know where to start, or they're like, "Oh, I'm not used to this. What do I do?" And it's a safe place to go in there. And I know when I'm having a bad day, it definitely brings me a lot of joy. So to see everyone interacting so well. But Tania, tell us about your role at Invisible Partners as well. You do amazing work, you guys.
Yeah, well, so obviously I'm part of part of Invisible Partners, which I have been working with Sarah very closely for quite a few years now. I suppose, day to day, I work, I'm the on-site talent partner at Bloom Hearing, which is part of WS Audiology. So I'm very much immersed into that business. But I guess when I first started out with Invisible Partners, and certainly the growth that Invisible Partners has had over the last 5 years, is I guess the business pretty much was very, very much involved in helping small to medium-sized businesses that didn't want to have an internal function, a sort of a sole function, and that's certainly grown and developed over that time. So day to day, I'm very much immersed with Bloom, looking after the recruitment across Australia and New Zealand. And I just jumped off a meeting now about kicking off our graduate program for the year across Australia and New Zealand, which is, really exciting. So it's great. So my role has evolved and grown even in just the last year. So it's probably more of an on-site talent partner, which I love. But we've got a really good community as well in Invisible Partners. So we can leverage and learn off each other as well. And you can ask all those questions that you think, oh God, I should know this. I should know the answer to this question, or how can I help, guide a process along the way. So it's, so it's been exciting. It's been an exciting time.
I think so too. I think it's really exciting for our industry as well. It's, over the last few years, we've seen, I guess the expansion of, on-site solutions through consulting firms, with Invisible Partners or TQ Solutions or Crew Talent Advisory, whoever it might be. And it's a very different model to PO. And I think we're seeing more and more of that, and we'll continue to. But it's a really great example of how, it's not a traditional agency model, right? It's a very, very different model and provides so much value. So I think it's another arm of our industry. Back in the day, I know when I started out, you would have agency, you'd have internal, and that was it. And where then RPO became really big, and now we're seeing the consulting firms that are doing on-site solutions. So I guess our industry, what am I trying to say? Our industry continues to evolve and change, and that's great. That's exciting.
And it keeps us accountable too. I think because we are consultants, we can leverage off so many other people in the business as well. So it works. It's a model that actually does work, and we can provide those, recruitment solutions, but be also that external partner as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's good.
Oh, yep, it is good. It's amazing. So we've talked a bit about work. So I'm keen to get to know you. Well, I know you all, but I'm keen for the audience to get to know you on more of a personal level. So, Brendan, now you've dusted off the glitter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and tell us about your weekend as well. We're all dying to know.
Yeah. So I guess my weekend being Mardi Gras was really fun. It was my first time actually dancing in the parade with Strokes, which is a LGBTIQ, dragon boat racing club here in Sydney. So it was really fun to kind of be part of that and the experience and so on, and kind of, I guess, embrace what Mardi Gras is about.
Fantastic.
Sorry, did you say drag and boat racing?
Dragon boat.
Oh,
and was it
dragon boat?
Oh, dragon. Okay, I was like boat racing, but you also do drag. Like
that's what I thought.
That's really awesome.
Boat racing.
I was like, I'm here for that
outfits.
Diversity. Yeah, like I was there for that. Okay,
yeah, I'm all there for that as well.
Cool.
So RuPaul next level drag race.
Seriously.
And Brendan, did you go to the party afterwards?
Yeah, I did. I went to the after party straight after the parade, which was exciting.
Yeah. Did you see the midnight show?
Yeah, we made it just in time for the midnight show, which was great.
Fantastic. And did you get to see Penny Clifford, who's one of our bouncers? She was in the midnight show. Did you get to see her?
To be honest, most of it was a bit of a
That's the sign of a good Mardi Gras when you can't remember. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Penny Clifford, who will she's presenting with Lisa Mann on mentoring. She did her final performance. So she's a mature queen. She started out in the 70s in Sydney on the Sydney scene. And yeah, the midnight show was her, I guess, retirement performance. So really excited to hear from them. That's probably for me but we'll go into that in a moment, but that's probably one of the ones I'm really excited to hear from for Bounce 2, Lisa and Penny. But Quila, tell us about you. Tell us about on more of a personal level. With all the spare time that you have, how do you fill your day?
All my spare time. Okay, so I'm originally from New York. I have lived in Melbourne for just over 9 years, waiting for my citizenship paperwork to come through. So I passed the test, got 100.
Yay!
But you're not a citizen until you go to that ceremony where they give you like the plant and like the koala stuffed animal. So I'm waiting for that invitation. Hume Council, whenever you let me know. I'm a mom of 3, so Sienna's 4.5, and then our twin boys are 20 months old, Paolo and Robbie. And yeah, that's like who I am. What did I do this weekend? We went to Williamstown Beach on Saturday and got rained on, but we ate ice cream and that was very exciting. And then yesterday it was like playgrounds. I took my daughter for a manicure, so she got like rainbow, and that was thrilling, to be honest. I mean, mom of the year here. And yeah, that was my weekend. It's like not a lot of glitter. We don't allow glitter in the house, Brendan, just to let you know. We taught our kids that glitter, glue, and scissors are only sold to schools. They're not sold to homes. So they believe that. Yeah. So follow me for more parenting hacks.
That is, yeah. I refuse to have any of that stuff in my house as well with the kids.
No, like life is already too hard. Like glitter on a carpet, nah, not happening. So that's my weekend.
Oh, fantastic. And Sandra, tell us a little bit about yourself. How do you feel, you know, when you're busy role, how do you feel your days, you know, the spare 5 minutes that you've got?
Oh, goodness me. Things have slowed down considerably and then not at the same time. So we're in the middle of moving out of our previous home into a new house, and that move happened on the weekend that just went by. So it's been very hectic, hence the lack of electricity this morning, power that's just gone off. We're finding new things happening each day. I am a proud fur mum of Snowy. Most of you have seen my puppy. So yeah, he's exceptionally quiet right now. So maybe I've drugged him, or maybe I've just fed him a lot. So that's it. I have lots of plants, which are in hiding because I don't know where anything is in this house at the moment. I love to eat, drink, and travel a lot when I used to have a life, and hopefully I get to do that soon.
Oh, moves are so full on. So yeah, look, congratulations on your new home. And I hope once the electricity is sorted, then that's all the dramas and you can relax and enjoy.
Fingers crossed. Oh, and what did I do this weekend? Very nerdy. We're big Pokemon Go players, and it was a big weekend for Pokemon. And that's what we were doing, playing Pokemon.
Yes. Where were you playing it? I didn't even know people still did that. That's awesome.
There is an underground community of us. No, it's quite a big global event. Quila, are you finding that out for the first time?
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be here and I'll learn. I'll learn from you. Tell me everything.
Oh, amazing. I love it. And Tania, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you like to do in your spare time and how you spent your weekend, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, so mum of 2 kids. I've got Sophie and Sammy. So Sophie's 11, last year of high school, very much preteen, so really interesting. And Samuel, who is 10, so it's, you know, weekends are very much around sport and running between netball and basketball, and then footy's about to start in a couple of months. So that certainly keeps us on our toes. So I'm very fortunate to be able to, you know, work around all of those mum life commitments and, you know, try and find the balance, but it's not always easy. So trying the juggling act, it's fun. And the weekend was very much spent with sport. So sports, and then we went out for dinner on Saturday night down to Richmond, which was lovely.
Oh, nice.
And then here we are again, back to another week.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I better tell you about my weekend, I suppose, but I'll be really quick. So my partner Jason, Jason Burns is my partner. For those who don't know, we've got his parents over from Scotland, but they arrived off the plane and had COVID.
Oh, no.
We're
No.
incredibly ill. So they've been ill for a week, but they've just recovered. And yesterday was our first venture out. So we went to the Dalesford markets, the railway market. But yeah, really sick, like emergency ward, like really
wow.
full. They'd never had it before either. So yeah, it wasn't a great start to the holiday.
Oh my gosh. Do you think they got it on the plane?
Yeah, definitely the plane, because they were, they had the fever when they first arrived. So it had just kind of, kicked in. And you know what that journey's like. We just thought it was jet lag and, progressively got worse. But they're better now, which is great. But like it's a bit of a wake-up call, though, like, for me, like, we just go through everyday life, right? Like we just all talked about our weekends and you just kind of don't think about it anymore, but it's a serious thing. Like I've never seen two people so unwell in my life. It's really quite scary. So yeah, be safe, everyone. I'd say bring back the mask, but we'll get too political, so we won't do that. So let's talk about,
because we want to forget about it, don't we? We put it out of our mind. We don't want to remember those sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I think, we went through 2 years of trauma and we just want to forget about it now, right? But it's still definitely out there. Let's hope it does go away eventually. We don't think about it. But anyway, let's talk Bounce. Bounce is next Tuesday and next Thursday, which having some heart palpitations just thinking about it, but it's a good thing. We're well organized. Let's go around the room and talk about what we're excited about. I mean, we have, including you guys, there are 53 different people presenting from Australia. So I feel like it's such a large chunk of our wonderfully talented industry and community. And I just love the diversity of topics as well. So, Brendan, looking forward to what's exciting you about Bounce next week?
So I guess there's so much on offer for so many people, and all the topics look amazing. So I think it's really hard to choose, but I would probably agree with you. I'm looking forward to Penny Clifford's mentoring with Lisa Mann. And just getting some really great tips on sort of how you coach and guide, mentor, your different team members.
I agree. Like, I think it's really interesting because we mentioned RuPaul earlier when we were talking about drag, but we see now, which is wonderful. It's very different from when I was a teenager, I suppose. We see these wonderful examples of the queer community, and it's more than just the glitter and the frocks and the dance parties. We see these examples, and for example, this one, mentoring and that kind of drag mother and daughter relationship, and how that can not only help in their careers but also in their lives. And I'm really looking forward to that as well, because I know both Lisa and Penny. I know their stories. I've known Penny for over 20 years. I've known Lisa probably 10 now, and met Lisa through Penny, and to see the impact that having that positive role model and mentor has had on Lisa's career, and seeing Lisa shine and do such amazing things in the community is really wonderful. So I think it's mentoring doesn't have to be a corporate thing that has a lot of rules and regulations around it. It can be anywhere in life, and I think there's mentors all around us. So I'm really excited by that one as well. So I'm gonna agree with you on that, Brendan. But I'm excited for all of them. How about yourself, Quila? What's standing out for you? What are you excited to be a part of?
I actually, I had somebody ask me a few weeks ago, is this a female-only event? Or they asked me, is it a queer event? Because... And they meant this in a way of like, there are so many new faces, like so many of the events that we go to, it's all the same people talking. Or you've heard over the last few years, like I'm probably not going to go to that session because it's like 95% men instead of having some gender representation. And you've absolutely nailed it. Like you've shown the faces that somebody that's going through whatever can be like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. Or that makes me feel like I'm represented, and you've just nailed it with that. So I'm really excited to meet new people and have people feel welcomed and feel like they can be themselves.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah. Was that like really kumbaya? Probably.
Oh no, it was just really lovely.
How I
So it kind of melted my heart. That was really kind thing to say. But I tend to agree. Like one of the things for events, and I attend many, like I love the Millbrook meetup because it's real people, real stories. I think Caitlin and Stefan and Matt do a wonderful job because it is that authenticity around it, I suppose, and you're learning from your peers. And I really wanted to make sure that, you know, we did have a diverse group of speakers presenting, or a diverse, group of presenters, but I wanted that to be at all different levels as well. You know, I didn't want it to be at the top end. I know I've attended a lot of events where I've sat and it's been a big multinational organization and how they've transformed, talent strategy. And, you walk away going, where do I start? So I really wanted it to be real and some of the things I know Russell and Ash will be talking about, like really practical, simple, out-of-the-box ideas to impress hiring managers. And that's something, no matter what level of our career, we can learn and we can get ideas from. And, and then we have others that it's more around sustainability. I just wanted it to be really different topics that we normally see. Candidate experience is really important, but we see a lot around candidate experience. So I wanted to make sure that, that was more around the video side of candidate experience. So, yeah, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm really hard on myself when it comes to diversity. I would have loved to have seen more diversity, but that's,
you need a third day to fit that in. But just to clarify, the person that was asking me about whether or not it was a queer or like female only event was like excited by it. They weren't being derogatory or anything. They were just like really excited by the spread of content and people that you have.
Oh, wonderful. And look, we don't see a lot of queer representation. So that's really powerful to hear that. I'm hoping that everyone can see themselves on the stage, and that everyone, so that's great. Thank you. That's made my day. How about yourself, Sandra? What are you looking forward to? Any particular sessions or any particular speakers that are exciting you?
Nobody at all, really. Just wanted to listen to myself talk. It's such a great 2 days agenda, and as Quila and Brendan have said as well, it's such a diverse background. For the longest time in Australia, for myself, I've always wanted to go to an event to have someone on the speaking panel that was someone that looked like me, sounded like me, came from my background, that wasn't there, and I've had to do that for myself, and hoping that would, I guess, inspire other people. But having had a look at this amazing list that you've got, I can see, a couple of people that I would gravitate to now, and say, what can I learn from them? I don't think there's any specific ones that I would call out because they're all really amazing, but I am really looking forward to the session with you and Juanita. Because cooking is my jam, and creativity is what I do on the side as well. So I'm really excited to see how that would show up. And obviously things around AI and ChatGPT and all of that, the session with Pavi would be really interesting to see. And then I think the next, and what I really like as well, it's not just about sessions that are telling us how to do our jobs, because I think a lot of us know how to do our jobs, but it's also how can we support ourselves, our well-being and our wellness as well. And you've got sessions in there that cover those. And I think those are really important. And I think that's the bread and butter of Rubberband, and how it's different is that the core of it is to look after our mental health and the adversity that we're facing. And I think that's really coming through.
Oh, that's wonderful. I agree on Juanita. I'd never met her before, and I actually met her through the Rubberband community. One of the community members, James Wright, who's amazing. He's wonderful, and I've known him a long time. I saw that he had shared that he'd been either been a part of or recommended Juanita's cooking team building activities. And so I reached out to her and I said, I do floristry ones and I really want to hear what you do. And she kind of pioneered that concept of bringing teams together and using those culinary senses to bring out the best in people and to connect people and to problem solve. And she is an incredibly impressive person. We got together on a Zoom and we just chatted for, I think it went for a few hours actually.
I love that.
And so much energy and excitement, and you can see that vibrancy and that love of what she does. And I love that about this event as well, that there are people that aren't in our industry that we can learn from, because there's so much crossover in other industries and other sectors. So yeah, I'm excited by that. I'm really excited about Parvi and Mika's presentation as well, because I am the most non-technical recruiter out there, and most of it goes over my head. And I know that they've got it in a really simple, easy to digest format that it's going to make sense to people like me. So that excites me. I'm sick of technology. It just needs to plateau. It's no chat GTPs and things. You'll all disagree with me. I can,
I love that you say that, Adam, because, that's what we're using right now, technology, to stream this whole thing.
I know but I'm happy where it is. I just can't take on too much more.
You just don't want a robot telling you what to do and having a little bit of attitude with you. I can understand that. I've got enough attitude in my life. I don't need more.
I don't know. I'm scared. This is a fear, and this is why I'm looking forward to that presentation, because I think it's going to dispel this myth for me as well. But I've got this fear that technology is going to take away a lot of creativity. When people are writing articles using a robot, I'm like, no, but I'm a creative person, and I love that process of trying to get everything out of my head and to get it out and to piece it all together, and it will be dispelled. So I'm looking forward to that. There'll be a bit of a myth buster for me.
I love that.
Yeah. How about yourself, Tanya? What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, apart from it being my first MC gig, which I'm really nervous about, but it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Look, nothing really stands out for me in terms of one particular person. I loved the first Rubberband, like being, a guest or being, a participant in the background. And I think it's great just being able to bring so many different people together that we can all learn and grow from, and just be better in what we do day to day, like add value. I think it's what this all is about, I think, is adding value to each other, to our stakeholders, to obviously hiring managers, to candidates, to and the industry as a whole as well. Like, just that supportiveness is amazing. And I think that, the amount of people that you've been able to get on board, the fact that it is, a 2-day Rubberband event, the first one kicked off, it was amazing. And then to get this one, kicked off again, I think is certainly a big achievement for yourself. But it's exciting that, and I resonate with the same thought process in terms of, you go to so many of these events sometimes, and it is the top tier. It's the top level of an organization. And that can be sometimes a little bit daunting, and it's just, it can be hard. So we want to learn and grow, but we want to learn and grow from each other and people that are on the same sort of playing field to some degree. So I think it'd be quite exciting, be good. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's wonderful, Tanya. And it's not to say that, those, the top tier, it's a part of it, right? It's got to be a diverse collection of people at different levels. I think that's what I'm really proud of, is that, because, we can't all learn at the top, we can't all learn it's all over, and great ideas come from anywhere. I'm excited that it's all really practical advice and things that we can implement that will drive positive change. That's what it's all about. We all want to do better, whether it's in our own personal development or developing our strategy or our organizations or our culture or whatever it might be. So that's fabulous. Well, speaking of that, we don't have a lot of time left, so I just want to do a bit of a around the room in terms of what you're most passionate about when it comes to talent and recruitment. What is the one thing in the industry that everyone is the most passionate about? So I'll start with you, Brendan. What's your big passion when it comes to talent and recruitment?
Yeah, so I think, maybe also being an agency as well, it's really about that candidate experience and taking them on that journey. We have, like, I come across many different candidates who are looking to kind of apply for a role and they're about to go for an interview, and they only might meet 75% of the brief, and they might be a little bit worried about, will they get picked over someone else, and kind of going through that coaching and mentoring journey with them, and then seeing them actually get the role and be really excited about it. But then after that sort of 3 to 6 month period, still checking in with them and just seeing them really excel, and just hearing the wonderful feedback from the hiring managers and stuff that, they took a bit of a chance rather than just trying to find someone that meets, say, the full 100%.
That's awesome. I would love you to be my recruiter. I just know that you would be so kind and nurturing and caring, and you would just feel so safe. So I'm so glad our industry has people like you, Brendan. You're such a caring, lovely human. So thank you from all of the industry. Thank you for being you. Awesome. How about yourself, Quila? What's the most? Probably know what the answer is going to be, but let's hand it over to you. What are you most passionate about?
Womp womp. It's storytelling. Like, I love doing the EVP research and having one-on-one chats with people, and they tell you, like, you become their therapist. And I love hearing some of these stories, whether it lasts like 12 minutes or 45 minutes. And then, like, off the back of that, building the ambassador program with these stories. That's probably my favorite bit. Because we're not resources, even though we're in HR. We're not like numbers. There are real people with real stories and real motivations that get them out of their beds every day, and that's still cool to me after all these years.
It's awesome, and we need it, right? Because as we've, I suppose, evolved our recruitment or talent processes where there is a lot of automation, it could be really easy to forget those stories. Like, we need people like you that are actually listening and actually sharing those stories. And I think, employer branding is something that excites me a lot. I love seeing the storytelling that comes out of organizations, and Sportsbet does it incredibly well across, you do an amazing job across multiple social channels that I follow. And it's getting that inspiration and hearing from real people, real life. I think it's awesome. So you're amazing, Quila.
What's that? I should get a raise? What's that?
Yeah, there you go.
I should get a 20K raise. What? Oh my
I know,
gosh,
right?
Thanks. What's that?
Agreed. I'll sign it off for you. There you go.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And how about yourself, Sandra? What excites you the most about recruitment and talent acquisition and talent management, I should say?
Talent overall, talent everything. Talent excites me. And that's probably why I moved out of HR, just to focus on the positive in life.
On people.
People annoy me and people excite me. No, I just really love how the industry has grown up and matured in the last couple of years, really, and seeing it really take a stand of its own. What I really like about it, I think I have it in my title as well. It's solving a need for both parties. I think a little bit from what Quila said and a little bit from what Brendan said from the candidate and also your stakeholders in your business. So I really see ourselves as true matchmakers, career matchmakers, because we find the people and we matchmake them to a job. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but that's life, and how you do it in an authentic, honest way. You're transparent about the process. You tell people the truth. There's no BS around it, which sometimes can be very, very tricky to handle, particularly when there's, internal things that's happening that you might not be able to say externally. But I think if you're truthful and you're honest and you treat people with respect and, dignity, that's all it is at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It's kindness. Absolutely. I agree 100%. And Tania, what about yourself? Recruitment and talent.
Yep. I think for me, I've been asked this question, over the years, and for me, what I love always goes back to finding someone that career-defining role. So that real moment where it's at their stage of the career where they're going to elevate, and grow and learn, and then looking back at people that I've placed over the years from agency or now internal, and seeing that they've gone into the right role and that they have evolved and one person that sticks out in my mind is someone that I worked with in Perth who joined the business as a resourcer, and he's now the HR manager of an AFL football club. And it,
Right.
and they're the things that, I actually always remember those I remember the placement. So, and then I love getting that career defining moment for somebody. That's from a candidate point of view. I think now it still stands to this day, but understanding the pain points of a hiring manager and really getting to understand how we can help, fix the problem, find the right person, for that team. But, it always does go back to that, authenticness as well. But from a career defining moment from a candidate, trying to be relatable to them, because at the end of the day, we are, I guess if I think about some of the roles that, I recruit for, making sure that it's the right role for them, because this is affecting their life, it's affecting their family. Is this going to be, I think the biggest thing now, and the biggest thing that always plays on my mind is, are we putting someone into a recession-proof role? I hate the thought of someone leaving a role that they might have been in a business for 5+ years, and then they go into a role and then effectively their role gets made redundant. Like that doesn't leave a good feeling in my, for me. And I hate when, that potentially can happen. So it's there's so much swirling around in our brain when we are having conversations with people about, this affects their life. It's not just about us making a placement, it's their life.
It's their livelihood. Like I always say that it's not just a job. It's like what's allowing them to afford all the good stuff in life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, often when I speak about, salaries with candidates, I'm not paying your bills. I'm not privy to your situation. You need to weigh up so many things in your mind. So it's obviously challenging. So it's hard, and we're having those conversations and responsible to some degree for that.
I love it. I love all four of you have really demonstrated such a high level of care, that, and the responsibility of that care, I suppose, that happens in our industry. And, I guess recruiters have had a bad rep in the past, that it's all about trying to make a placement and trying to put people into a role so you can earn commissions. I know, people still have that opinion on some agency recruiters, which I completely disagree with. But, it is, Quila, you talked about, sometimes you're almost like that career counselor, I suppose, when you're having those conversations with people. And, each of you kind of described that experience and how that will impact the lives of people, and how important that is to have more of a consultative approach and making sure you're putting people into the right roles that are going to make a difference in their lives. And we're wonderful people, really, when you think about it that way, and the impact we can have. We've got a really great presentation on early careers that I'm looking forward to at Bounce too. I likewise, Tania, you were talking about when you've seen people and their careers evolve and how rewarding that is. I started out doing call center recruitment when I first moved into recruitment, and I see the careers of those people from 12 years ago on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh my gosh, they've smashed it out of the park. It's so rewarding and exciting. So I've got this kind of, what should I say, curiosity about early careers at the moment, and graduate programs and entry-level opportunities for people, because I think that's just incredibly rewarding to be able to see that career long-term and know that you've made that impact very early on. Yeah, it's really cool.
Share that, because I'm about to go through the graduate program for audiologists. So that audiology recruit. So I recruited both ends, the graduate and then, qualified audiologist. So that early career and putting them in the right pathway is so critical to their success. I think we underestimate it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, Brendan, you do a lot of work in, obviously in aged care and healthcare, where, it's people starting out their careers. And I can imagine that's really rewarding as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's really quite rewarding, particularly when, there's quite a shortage in certain, I guess, fields and areas and so on, that, it can then kind of make it a little bit, how do I say, maybe picky in the sense with, say, some clients, because, you know, everyone might be a little bit afraid to take on like a graduate and so on. Like we have that in optometry. I also do audiology as well. We have that in other areas too. And so being able to kind of coach and guide clients to be like, look, they've learned all the theoretical skills, give them that chance. The most that they'll probably need is just a bit of coaching, guidance, and so on. And seeing that evolve over like the 6 months to say 12 months. I know with a couple of clients who have a model where it's like a partner practice where they can buy into the actual practice. A lot of those recent ones have actually been given the opportunity because they've really kind of shone and developed.
Oh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Well, look, we've gone over our 45 minutes. I just want to thank you, the four of you. I am so excited and so honoured that you are our MCs for Rubberband, for Bounce 2. It's going to be an incredible day. Those out there that haven't registered yet, what's the matter with you? Register. www.rubberband.au/bounce. Get in there. It's a free event. And it's all about supporting each other, learning from each other and growing. And the four wonderful human beings that we have here are shining examples of just that. And there will be another 49 for you to hear from. So register now. We're so excited to see you 7th and 9th of March. And again, to our MCs in our panel today, thank you so, so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Adios, people.
The rest of the day. Have an
Enjoy
amazing
the rest
week
of the day.
and see you next
Bye.
week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.